Ndewo, no, and welcome to your weekly Omnibus. If you've had a busy week and didn't quite get around to listening to the Igbo Daily Drops, this is your chance to catch up. Now, you get to hear all 5 episodes from week 19, brought together in one place. Our mission is simple, to raise 10,000 next generation Igbo speakers. And every phrase you practice brings us one step closer. So whether you're in the car, on a walk, or relaxing at home, let's spend a few minutes inside the Igbo world. Through stories, proverbs, and the sentences we learned this week. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Onyemere has been walking since before dawn. 15th century Anambra, pre-colonial Igbo land. No Nigeria yet. No courts. No missionaries. The world whole and knowing it. He went to Aguleri first. Agaram. He went. A household had committed a taboo. A twin child. The land polluted. He performed the cleansing. He ate the food they brought him. Eriri Munri. He ate. He rested under the iroko at the compound edge for as long as it takes to eat one kola nut. Ezurumike. He rested. Now the red earth road stretches south toward Nteje. Harmattan dust on the leaves like fine grey cloth. He carries no weapon. He never has. The Otonsi, his ritual staff, is not for walking. It is what keeps him alive through territories that have standing reasons to kill each other. 15 years. Nobody touches him. At the crossroads, a runner falls in beside him. Breath sharp, dust rising at his heels. A dispute ahead. Voices already hard. The kind that, if left alone, will not end in words. A yam farm boundary. The son says, Agaram ọrụ. I went to work. Azụtara m ji. I bought yam. The farmer says he stole. Onyemere listens. He does not stop walking. Ebee ka ị gara? Where did you go? Not to the runner. To himself. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Choma Mbanefo, heritage futurist and daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops, episode 91, week 19, day 1, Monday. Today, travel and movement in the past. Before there were courts in Igbo land, there was a priest on a red earth road with a staff, whose only weapon was the agreement that when he asked, "Where did you go?" the answer would be true. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Onyemere arrives. Both men wait in the compound. He accepts the kola nut. He sits. He does not speak. The Nri have held this authority since the time of Eri, son of Chukwu, who descended at Aguleri and gave his lineage the right to cleanse what no one else can touch. Their power is not military. It never was. A refusal to cleanse pollution could close a settlement's market entirely. No trade, no exchange. That is not soft power. That is a sanctions regime. The elder across the compound leans to his neighbor. Oh, Nka, this one will settle it. Nobody announced it. He didn't even look up. Today, 3 sentences, the grammar of testimony, of someone who went somewhere, did something, and is asked to account for it. Repeat after me. Sentence 1. Agaram. In English, I went. So it can stand on its own or you can add something to it. Agaram. Agaramoka. I went to church. Agaram. In English, I went. Repeat after me. Agaram. 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 Not I was taken. Not I ended up. I went. Sentence 2. Eriri munri. In English, I ate. Or I ate food. Eriri munri. Eriri munri. Eriri munri. The priest is offered food at every compound he cleanses. He ate, he was received. Sentence 3. Ezuru m ike. In English, I rested. Ezuru m ike. Ezuru m ike. Ezuru m ike. Even the man with the staff must rest before the next village. These 3 sentences are in your free speaking workbook this week. Download it at learnibonow.com. If you are driving right now, just listen. The workbook will be waiting. Onyemere looks at both men. He asks the son, Ebee ka ị gara? Where did you go? He names the path he took, the yams he chose, the price he paid, the man he paid them to. Onyemere listens without moving. Anaghị eji ọnụ ofu onye ekpe okwu. Anaghị eji ọnụ ofu onye ekpe okwu. You do not use one mouth to settle a dispute. You hear both sides. He turns to the farmer. Same question. That version is shorter. His certainly smaller in the speaking of it. The truth, given enough silence, named itself. Onyemere nods once. Both men go home. He takes a small parcel of food pressed on him for the road and rises before they can thank him. 4 more villages before dark. What he held today was not a verdict. It was a structure. Anaghị eji ọnụ ofu onye ekpe okwu. Anaghị eji ọnụ ofu onye ekpe okwu. You do not use one mouth to settle a dispute. Truth is not one voice speaking loudly. It emerges from two voices in a silence large enough to hold them both. The elders in Igbo land have always known authority without armies is still authority. The Nri held jurisdiction across Igbo land through sacred agreement, not conquest, consent. A.E. Afibo, Ropes of Sand, Oxford University Press, 1981, page 54, documents that the Nri hegemony was largely ritual, religious, and psychological. Their power rested on controlling what he calls vital forces, the spiritual conditions that made farming, trading, and living together possible. A refusal to cleanse pollution could close a settlement's market entirely. That is not soft power. That is a sanctions regime. The Maori Tohunga operated identically. A specialist with safe passage through hostile territory, protected by cultural agreement, not force. What Afibo documented in 1981, international law formalized in the Vienna Convention of 1961. The protected status of a diplomatic agent moving through hostile territory by agreement, not force. Igbo land built that system before 1400. The United Nations named it 5 centuries later. Spiritual authority isn't pre-political. It is a governance technology that outperformed armies for 3 centuries. If you want to practice these sentences with other families, with your children, the Igbo village-speaking gym will soon be open. Before this day ends, say Agaram as you arrive somewhere. Your kitchen, your front door. Not practice. Proof. You went. You showed up. Anaghị eji ọnụ ofu onye ekpe okwu. The truth has 2 sides. Hear both before you speak. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com. Rate us wherever you're listening. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka okwu gị bụrụ nke eziokwu. May your words be of truth. May every road you travel carry you home with your integrity whole. Ka anyị hụ echi. Until we meet again tomorrow. The zinc roof ticks. It is 2024 in Laventille, Trinidad, long after the ships but still under their shadow. Serafina Nwosu, Baptist, sits at Meme's kitchen table in Laventille with a bowl of pepper soup. Shadow Benny, Scotch bonnet, steam rising slow. A mango tree leans over the window, unbothered by the latest article. The journalist called it appropriation. Mixed heritage woman. No Igbo language. No right to claim Igbo culinary heritage. She is not angry. She is asking the question. She lifts the bowl, drinks. She ate this soup at 5. Meme made it without measuring. Just the wrist when she added crayfish. Same light twist every time. Serafina wrote it down in grams. She learned the soup. She did not inherit the wrist. Eriri munri. She ate food. So did Meme. The bowl is still warm. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Choma Mbanefo, heritage futurist and daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Episode 92, Week 19, Day 2, Tuesday. Today, eating is remembering. The recipe crossed the Atlantic with its origins inside it. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Serafina sets the bowl down. Meme called this old-time Creole pepper soup her mother's recipe, her mother's mothers. It arrived in Trinidad in the bodies of people not asked if they wanted to come. 2 centuries of the wrist knowing what the mind forgot to name. She opens her notebook, writes, Gini ka iriri? What did you eat? She will answer that all the way back. Today, 3 sentences. The grammar of memory. The notebook in Serafina's hand is the same notebook you carry in your mouth. Repeat after me. Sentence 1. Eriri munri. In English, I ate food. Eriri munri. Eriri munri. Eriri munri. Serafina, her bowl, her grandmother before her. Sentence 2. Eriri m osikapa. In English, I ate rice. Eriri m osikapa. Eriri m osikapa. Eriri m osikapa. Rice that crossed an ocean and found a new pot. Sentence 3. Ha riri nri maka na agụụ na-agụ ha. In English, they ate food because they were hungry. Ha riri nri maka na agụụ na-agụ ha. Ha riri nri maka na agụụ na-agụ ha. Ha riri nri maka na agụụ na-agụ ha. They ate, they survived. These sentences are in your free speaking workbook this week. Download it at learnibonow.com. If you are driving, just listen. The workbook will be waiting. Serafina drinks the last of the soup. Shadow Benny, a powerful cilantro-like herb that thrives in warm tropical climates and has become a signature flavor of Caribbean cooking. The journalist asked for a document. The pepper soup is the document. 200 years old, unsealed. She writes, Eriri m nri. I ate. My grandmother ate. Her grandmother ate. Not a claim, a record. What Serafina found in that bowl, the elders named long ago. Adịghị akọrọ akpịrị na ya na ụtara bụ nwanne. Adịghị akọrọ akpịrị na ya na ụtara bụ nwanne. The throat does not need to be introduced to the pounded fufu as a relative. The food already knew her. The knowledge was in the wrist, never in the recipe. Raphael Chijioke, Njoko, and Toyin Falola in Igbo in the Atlantic World, University of Rochester Press, 2009, showed Igbo culinary legacies survived the Middle Passage because diaspora communities reinvented without losing their structural core. What biologists call adaptive radiation, surviving by filling every available niche. Igbo grandmothers were doing in Trinidad kitchens 2 centuries ago. The recipe is not the heritage. The wrist is the heritage. To practice these sentences with other families, with your children, the Igbo village-speaking gym will soon be open. Before this day ends, say Eriri m nri as you eat. Not as practice, as a record. Adịghị akọrọ akpịrị na ya na ụtara bụ nwanne. Adịghị akọrọ akpịrị na ya na ụtara bụ nwanne. Your throat already knows its relatives. Every sentence you learn is a drop. And every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com. If this episode brought you closer to home, rate us wherever you listen. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka nri gị were ọnụ gị jikọọ gị na ndị si n'ime ha pụta. May food connect you to those you came from. Ka anyị hụ echi. Until we meet again tomorrow. Chima is 9 years old and she has been told to rest. The compound in Umoji is suspended in the 2 p.m. heat. Her great-grandmother, Mamuku, 83 years old, bone-thin, terrifying, told her to go and lie down after lunch. Zoike. Rest. Chima lay on the mat. She counted the water stains on the ceiling. She lasted 6 minutes. The compound is hers now. Red earth courtyard. The mango tree older than anyone she knows. The well they fetch from, even though there's a tap. Because the well water tastes like rain and iron and something Chima can't name yet. The air smells of ripe fruit and hot zinc roof. She picks up a stick, draws a circle. She has been drawing the beginning of a game she's inventing, or remembering, she isn't sure which, when her cousin Chidera appears at the doorway. Chidera is 15. She has a phone. She considers compound games village things. She also considered them village things for exactly 3 minutes before noticing that Chima had drawn a very compelling circle, that the compound was very quiet, and that there was absolutely nothing else to do. Gịnị ka ị na-eme? What are you doing? Chima doesn't answer. She begins a song she half remembers from somewhere. A song about a breadfruit and a person called Nwaka Dimboro, and a long, terrible chain of things eating other things until death arrives and has the last word. She sings the question. She waits. Chidera knows the response. She doesn't know how she knows it. She just does. Nwaka Dimboro. The game pulls Chidera in before she understands she has moved. They sing faster. They eat mangoes directly off the tree. Atara m mkpụrụ osisi. I ate fruit. And the juice runs down Chima's arm and drips onto the red earth and dries. The heat eases a fraction around 5 o'clock. Ezuru m ike n'okpuru osisi. She rested under the tree, then got up and sang the game again. When Chima's legs finally gave out, she folded onto the earth under the mango tree. Ehiri m ụra. She slept. Not for long. Just the deep, instant sleep of a body that has been fully used. Mamuku appears at the compound door. She surveys the red earth, the circles, the mango peel, the 2 girls half asleep in the afternoon light. She says nothing. She smiles, goes back inside. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Choma Mbanefo, heritage futurist and daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops, episode 93, week 19, day 3, Wednesday. Today, 3 sentences that tell the world what your body has been doing. Resting, sleeping, eating fruit off the tree. Here is what those sentences are protecting. The knowledge that play and rest are not opposites of learning. They are how children learn to be themselves. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Chidera will go back to Enugu at the end of August. She will not tell anyone she played a compound game. She will also, without knowing why, remember the words for the rest of her life. That is how Nwaka Dimboro works. It is a song-tale game, Abụ Ifo, a soloist and chorus, a chain of cause and effect, breadfruit to splinter to white ant, to chicken, to kite, to bow, to fire, to water, to human, to death, and then the whole chain run backwards at speed, faster each time, until someone stumbles and everyone laughs. The laughter is not the point. The recall is the point. Mamuku knows this. She did not send Chima outside to play. She sent her outside to let the game do what it has always done. Move knowledge into the body before the mind can argue with it. The compound has been doing this for longer than the school system has existed. Today, 3 sentences. The sentences that let you account for what your body did when you weren't watching. Repeat after me. Sentence 1. Ehiri m ụra. In English, I slept. Ehiri m ụra. Ehiri m ụra. Ehiri m ụra. Chima under the mango tree. Not because she was told to. Because the body finally asked. Sentence 2. Ezuru m ike. In English, I rested. Ezuru m ike. Ezuru m ike. Ezuru m ike. Resting and sleeping are not the same word in Igbo. Resting is a choice. Sleeping is a surrender. Sentence 3. Atara m mkpụrụ osisi. In English, I ate fruit. Atara m mkpụrụ osisi. Atara m mkpụrụ osisi. Atara m mkpụrụ osisi. The mango juice on Chima's arm drying in the August heat. The tree gave it. She took it. Both satisfied. These 3 sentences are in your free speaking workbook this week. Download it at learnibonow.com. If you're driving right now, just listen. The workbook will be waiting. 3 weeks later, Chidera is back in Enugu. School starts Monday. She is video calling her cousin. Remember that game, she says. Chima makes a sound of pure disgust. Which game? You know which game. Chidera does know. She wants to say she doesn't. She opens her mouth. Nwaka dimporo. She said it before she decided to. The knowledge went somewhere in August. That is not where her phone lives. It went somewhere deeper. Chima screams with laughter. Then they sing the whole chain, stumbling and arguing and starting over. 2 girls in 2 different cities, the mango tree already behind them, already inside them. Ụra ga-eju onye nwụrụ anwụ afọ. Ụra ga-eju onye nwụrụ anwụ afọ. The dead will have enough sleep. Now is the time to be awake. The compound knew something the school did not. Ụra ga-eju onye nwụrụ anwụ afọ. Ụra ga-eju onye nwụrụ anwụ afọ. A dead person will have enough sleep. Rest comes after life is spent. Now, while you are in your body, in your compound, in your August, while the mango tree is still yours, now is the time to be in motion. In Mbise, the compounds I knew as a child were not quiet places. They were classrooms without walls. Whoever was there taught you. The mango tree was equipment. Professors Iwu Ikwubuzo and Cecilia Eme and their colleagues at the University of Lagos and Nnamdi Azikiwe University spent years documenting exactly this, that traditional Igbo song game traditions like Nwaka Dimboro are not entertainment. They are what Ikwubuzo calls knowledge encoded in the body before the mind can argue with it. Their 2022 research in Priokja confirms what Igbo elders have always known, that a child who plays these games is not playing. They are being taught. The research found that children who play Igbo games speak Igbo faster than children who are taught it. The game does in an afternoon what a classroom takes a year to do. The Maori called the same principle ako, a learning spiral where the teacher and learner exchange roles without either noticing. Cognitive scientists now call it embodied cognition. The finding, published in 2019, that bodies learn differently to minds and faster. What Igbo children have been doing in August compounds for centuries, neuroscience caught up to in 2019. The compound isn't a classroom without walls. The classroom is a compound without mangoes. If you want to practice these sentences with other families, with your children, the Igbo village speaking gym will soon be open. Before this day ends, say Ehirimora aloud the moment you lie down tonight. Not as language practice, as a declaration. The dead will have enough sleep. Tonight, say the sentence. Acknowledge that you rested. The body that rested is the body that can rise. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com. Rate us wherever you're listening. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka ahụ gị zuo ike nke ọma. Ka ị bilie n'ụtụtụ nọ n'ike. May your body rest well, and may you rise in the morning with strength. Ka anyị hụ echi. Until we meet again tomorrow. Kwame is 67 years old, and his hands know this tall the way his hands know his own face. 5 o'clock in the morning, Section C, Ariara International Market, Aba. The largest second-hand clothing market in West Africa. And still, the light is not yet here. Kwame has been here since 4. Before the hawkers, before the generators roar to life and drown everything with their diesel breath. He ate breakfast an hour ago. White rice and ofe akwu from Mama Ngozi's buka around the corner. Same breakfast, same corner for 40 years. He is thinking about his youngest son, Emmanuel. Emmanuel is 22, born in Aba. He speaks Igbo with the accent of the Umuahia Road, where they lived when he was small. When Emmanuel filled out his JAMB form last month, the university application, he wrote under nationality, Nigerian. Kwame read it and said nothing. He did not say, you are Ghanaian. He did not say, your grandfather was an Ashanti man. Your grandmother danced at Kumasi Dobas. He said nothing because he was thinking. He is still thinking now at 5 in the morning. His hands moving through kente as if the fabric itself might give him the answer. Emmanuel has never been to Ghana. Emmanuel grew up sleeping on these bales of fabric as a small boy while his father traded. Emmanuel knows which section of Ariara market has the best Ankara, and which traders will cheat you on quality, and which women to greet first. The question is, who decides what Emmanuel is? Ndewo no. I am Yvonne Choma Mbanefo, heritage futurist and daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Episode 94, Week 19, Day 4, Thursday. Today, in Igbo, the past tense is not just memory. It is proof of presence. Belonging is accumulated, not inherited. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. By 7 o'clock, the market is fully awake. And Adeze, third generation, her grandmother sold fabric in this same section, appears at the entrance to Kwame's stall. She is 26 now. She was 4 years old the first time she came here with her mother and saw the Ghanaian man with the kente. She has called him Nna her whole life, not as a courtesy, because she means it. Today, she needs a contact in Kumasi, a supplier. She says it plainly. Nna, I need someone I can trust. He gives her the number. He gives her the name of the man's brother too, because the brother is the one who negotiates. He knows this because he has been going to Kumasi since before Adeze was born. She leaves. A Nigerian-American woman appears. She is writing a travel piece on African markets. She is looking for the most authentic Igbo fabric. She points to Kwame's stall, looks at his face, looks at his accent, looks uncertain. Kwame points to his own stall. He does not explain himself. 40 years, he thinks. And still, a Ghanaian accent is treated like a disqualification. Today, 3 sentences that do not just describe the past. They claim it. Repeat after me. Sentence 1. Agara m ahịa. In English, I went to the market. Agara m ahịa. Agara m ahịa. Agara m ahịa. Kwame has said these words in Igbo every single morning for 4 decades. It is not a sentence. It is a record. Sentence 2. Eriri m nri. In English, I ate food. Eriri m nri. Eriri m nri. Eriri m nri. He ate Mama Ngozi's food. He ate at her corner. This morning and 10,000 mornings before it. Sentence 3. Ehiri m ụra. In English, I slept. Ehiri m ụra. Ehiri m ụra. Ehiri m ụra. He rested here, in this market, in this city. That rest is the grammar of home. These 3 sentences are in your free speaking workbook this week. Download it at learnibonow.com. If you're driving right now, just listen. The workbook will be waiting. The travel writer leaves without buying anything. Adeze comes back at noon. She got through to the Kumasi contact. She says, Nna, ịbụ onye ahịa chọrọ. Father, you are the person this market needs. Kwame folds a length of kente across his arm. He thinks about Emmanuel's jam form. He thinks about 40 years of market mornings. He went. He ate. He rested. He stayed. The question of whether he belongs in Aba was answered by Aba itself, one morning at a time. This is what the Igbo elders understood long before any philosopher named it. Nwanne dị na mba. Nwanne dị na mba. A brother can be found in a foreign land. Not born there, not from there, found there. Through 40 years of rice and ofaku before dawn, through an Igbo wife buried in Aba soil, through a daughter in love who calls you Nna with absolute sincerity. Presence is the proof. The rest is paperwork. In every Igbo market I have ever moved through, I have watched this. The trader who stays is the trader who belongs. Not the one with the birth certificate from the right state. The one whose hands know the stall before the sun arrives. A.E. Afibo documented this in 1981 in Ropes of Sand, Studies in Igbo History and Culture. He showed that Igbo land had centuries-old mechanisms for absorbing foreign long-distance merchants. By marriage, by sustained commercial presence, by the social bonds of trade, a traveler became a member. The host community's own structures did the integration. No application, no special exception. Just time, presence, and the accumulated weight of shared mornings. The Yoruba, the Hausa, and the Lebanese trading diaspora across West Africa settled the same way, through decades of market floor presence that eventually outweighed the passport. What anthropologists call embeddedness, the theory that economic trust is built through repeated social interaction over time, not through ethnic identity. Igbo communities codified as cultural principle centuries before the academic terminology existed. Belonging is not a status you are given. It is a practice you complete. If you want to practice these sentences with other families, with your children, the Igbo village-speaking gym will soon be open. Before this day ends, say, Agara m ahịa aloud as you cross any threshold. A door, a gate, a train platform. Not as language practice, as a declaration. Because nwanne dị na mba does not only mean your brother is somewhere in the world. It means you may already be someone else's brother and not yet know it. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com. Rate us wherever you're listening. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka ụzọ gị nwee ndị nke gị. Ka ịhụ nwanne n'ebe ọbụla ị gara. May your path have your people, and may you find a brother or a sister wherever you go. Ka anyị hụ echi. Until we meet again tomorrow. The kitchen is Ezinne's. Onitsha, 1902. The mission house sits on the eastern bank of the Niger. Whitewashed walls, foreign soap smell, a desk where Reverend Cartwright writes his reports to the Church Missionary Society in London. She keeps the kitchen her own way deliberately. The kitchen is hers. The smells here are the smells of her mother's compound. He has never eaten in this room. Today, they went to the market together. She walked ahead to clear the path through the crowd. He walked behind her, writing things in his small leather notebook. She watched him write without appearing to watch. She had learned this quickly in the first few weeks, how to observe without being observed. The market women watched him the way they watch a child who has wandered from his mother. Curious, patient, a little amused. He stopped at the Oba seller. Ezinne knew what was about to happen. She chose the Oba deliberately. The most complex flavor she knew. She wanted to see if he would understand it. He tasted it. He paused. He looked at her. Interesting, he said. She translated this to the woman behind the bowl as, he says he has never tasted something like it. This was accurate. It was also not what he said. The Oba woman nodded, satisfied. She reached for Ezinne's hand and pressed it once. Odemma, it is good. She was not talking about the food. The afternoon passed like this. Agara m ahịa zụọ nri. He went to the market to buy food. Eriri m nri, hie ụra. He ate and he slept. Ha lara ụlọ. They went home. The grammar was identical. The day they lived was not. That evening, Cartwright wrote in his diary, they appear to have no chiefs of any description. Ezinne stood in the kitchen and stirred her ofe onugbu. She listened to his pen moving across the page. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Choma Mbanefo, heritage futurist and daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Episode 95, Week 19, Day 5, Friday. Today, past actions and the distance between two people who did the same things on the same day. Here is what the archive corrects. The person who writes the diary is not always the person who understood what happened. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. In Onitsha, in 1902, the market was not commerce. It was governance. The women who sat in Onitsha market held information that no colonial officer ever accessed directly. They knew which compounds were in dispute. They knew the movement of goods across 3 river towns. They knew which men held real authority and which men held the warrant paper the British had given them. Two entirely different things. Cartwright went to the market. He ate. He saw a crowd and a transaction. Ezinne went to the market. She ate. She had 3 conversations that contained more political intelligence than anything Cartwright reported to the Church Missionary Society that year. He wrote what he understood. She held the actual record. Today, 3 sentences. The grammar of what people did, what they went to do, where they ended up. These sentences sound like simple past tense. What they carry is the entire weight of who gets to tell the story. Repeat after me. Sentence 1. Agara m ahịa zụọ nri. In English, I went to the market to buy food. Or I went to the market and bought food. Agara m ahịa zụọ nri. Agara m ahịa zụọ nri. Agara m ahịa zụọ nri. Ezinne said this sentence the same morning Cartwright did. One of them went to buy food. The other went to hold the room. Sentence 2. Eriri m nri hie ụra. In English, I ate and I slept. Eriri m nri hie ụra. Eriri m nri hie ụra. Eriri m nri hie ụra. He ate and he was satisfied and slept. She ate alone in the kitchen, standing. The sentence is the same, the meal is not. Sentence 3. Ha lara ụlọ. In English, they went home. Ha lara ụlọ. Ha lara ụlọ. Ha lara ụlọ. They went home to the same house. They had been in entirely different places all day. These 3 sentences are in your free speaking workbook this week. Download it at learnigbonow.com. If you're driving right now, just listen. The workbook will be waiting. That night, Ezinne's mother's cousin came to the compound wall. She spoke through the gap in the fence, not wanting to be seen at the mission house. Idemma, are you okay? Ezinne thought for a moment. She thought about the Oba woman's hands pressing hers. About 3 conversations the market held that would never appear in Cartwright's notebook. She said, yes. Her cousin looked at her for a long moment, said nothing. The message carries. That was the line she held. Carry the message, not the man. What Ezinne held that night has a name. Ezie m ozi zie ọgaranya. Ezie m ya. Ma asị m were ajụ bute ya. Esere m isi. Ezie m ozi zie ọgaranya. Ezie m ya. Ma asị m were ajụ bute ya. Esere m isi. If you ask me to carry a message to a great man, I will carry it. But if you ask me to carry him, I will withdraw my head. or I will pull back. Dignity is not the same as obedience. The Igbo have always known the difference. In my mother's family, there were men who translated for missionaries. My grandfather, Okenze Nicholas Amadi Nwachukwu-Udako, headmaster at a school in Ezinite during the colonial period, navigated exactly the position Ezinne held. He carried the message. He protected what was his. He knew something the missionary did not know he was being protected from. A.E. Afibo, historian, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, whose landmark, the Warrant Chiefs' Indirect Rule in southeastern Nigeria, was published in 1972, documented what happened when the British arrived at the Niger, looking for kings and found something they had no framework for. Igbo enweze. The Igbo have no kings. The Igbo have no kings. Afibo showed that the British read this as disorder and invented warrant chiefs to fill a gap that wasn't there. Cartwright's diary entry, "They appear to have no chiefs of any description," is the sentence that built the warrant chief system. One man's epistemic failure. An entire political catastrophe. The Maori in New Zealand faced the same misreading. British administrators searching for a paramount chief to sign treaties with, finding instead a confederacy of iwi with distributed authority. Same error, same consequences. Epistemological colonialism is not a Nigerian story. Epistemological colonialism is not a Nigerian story. It is a global one. What linguists now call situated knowledge, the understanding that what you know depends entirely on where you stand. Ezinne demonstrated without naming it in a kitchen in Onitsha in 1902. Cartwright was the observer. She was the intelligence. If you want to practice these sentences with other families, with your children, the Igbo village speaking gym will soon be open. Before this day ends, say "Agara m ahịa zụọ nri" as you cook, or carry, or build something today. Not as language practice, as a declaration. Ezie m ozi zie ọgaranya, ezie m ya. You carry the message. What you do not carry is the burden that was never yours to hold. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnigbonow.com. Rate us wherever you're listening. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka okwu gị bụrụ ihe nchebe gị. May your words be your protection. Ka anyị hụ echi. Until we meet again tomorrow. And that brings us to the end of this week's Igbo Daily Drops Omnibus. If a sentence or proverb stayed with you today, take a moment to say it again out loud. Every phrase you practice keeps the language alive. Remember, every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. If you'd like to practice these lessons further, download the workbook at learnigbonow.com. Until tomorrow's drop, abụ nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka chi gị duo gị ọfụma. May your chi guide you well.